Gita as it is, chapter 13. We're hearing how Krishna is telling us the difference between the body, the soul, who's the knower of the body, and the controller of both, the super soul. He's the controller of both the body and the individual soul. And then how based on our desire and karma, we are taking different bodies, different species of life. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Indeed. Yatha bhuta prithak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tatha eva cha vistaram brahma sampradayate tada. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Purport. When one can see that the various bodies of the living entities arise due to the different desires of the individual soul and do not actually belong to the soul itself, one actually sees. In the material conception of life, we find someone a demigod, someone's a human being, a dog, a cat, etc. This is a material vision, not actual vision. This material differentiation is due to a material conception of life. After the destruction of the material body, the spirit soul is one. The spirit soul, due to contact with the material nature, gets different types of bodies. When one can see this, he attains spiritual vision. Thus, being freed from the differentiation like man, animal, big, low, etc., one becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. How he then sees things will be explained in the next verse.
So who is a sensible man here?
The sensible man is the one who sees a soul in everyone's body, not like their different material concept, like that he's a ant, he's a cat, he's a...
Yeah, but he's seeing the soul everywhere. And why are we all in different bodies?
because of
Based
our
on,
desires and
yeah,
karma.
that's right. Because of our desires and karma, we are in different types of bodies. So that is a person who actually is, yeah, but Krishna is saying he attains to the Brahman conception, means he liberated. You can see that it's the soul everywhere, just taking on different material bodies. And it's a liberated vision. Okay. How do we see when we are seeing different? When we see animal or we see a tree or we see person, how do we see?
With our material vision, we
Yeah,
still see them as a cat or a dog
yeah.
or
We
a tree.
identify with the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we identify as body. This is a tree. This is a dog. This is a cat. This is my friend. This is my enemy. But the real vision is to understand that, oh, they're all spirit souls, just in different bodies. Somebody has made some choices in the past. Because of that, they are in some, different bodies. It's the correct way to see it. Okay, let's go on.
अनादित्वान् निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायम् अव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते. Translation. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Purport. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in a material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material bodies do not entangle him.
Oh, okay. So how does a liberated person see? What's the vision?
Uh, that soul is imperishable and it's beyond the three modes. It's transcendental, eternal.
Yeah,
It does not change or get trapped with this material body.
yeah.
Mm.
And yet, so by nature we are full of bliss. We are not. We cannot be destroyed. We are not this body. We are not engaging ourselves in anything material. Yet we can see that the body that we are in, we think that is us.
Mm.
The illusion is so strong. The
Mm.
illusory energy of Krishna Maya is so strong that actually we have nothing to do with this body, and yet we are thinking, I'm this body, I'm this body. Due to the false ego, due to the mind. With the mind we are
Mm.
thinking, I'm this body.
Mm.
By nature he is full of bliss. We are Satchidananda, right? Eternal, full of bliss.
Yeah.
Shimpaji, so
Mm.
in the last line, what they're trying to say here is that by nature he is full of bliss, he does not engage himself. So the liberated person who knows that the soul is the doer, is a non-doer, and like the soul is there in everyone's body, right? The liberated person who does not engage himself in any material activities. And therefore, the activities performed due to this contact with material body do not entangle him.
Any soul.
Any soul, okay.
This is for any soul, is being
Okay.
said. Living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. We are all
Okay.
actually eternal.
So this
Our
is like one
real
of the
consciousness
characteristics
is
of the soul.
conscious. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We cannot be destroyed. We are full of bliss. Actually, our material activity, we are the soul. We are not doing anything material activity, but what we are doing is just desiring. Because of our desire, that's how we get implicated over here. Okay.
So what they're trying to say that despite being situated in this material body, the soul doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
And
that's
it is
right.
and the soul is not entangled.
That's right. The soul is actually always liberated.
Mm.
Never we become the body, right? We never
Mm.
become the body. The modes of nature never act on the soul. It's always on the
Mm.
body. But now, because of our conditioning, because of this illusion, we are
Mm.
thinking, I'm the body. That's how we are thinking. We are entangled. Yeah. So this is to understand that by nature, actually, we are always
Mm.
pure in consciousness.
Mm. Okay. Thank you. यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्मयादा आकाशं नो नोपलिप्यते सर्वात्र व्यवस्थितो देहे तथात्मा लोपलिप्यते. Translation. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything. although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. Purport. The air enters into the water, mud, stool, and whatever else is there. Still, it does not mix with anything. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body and how he is out of it after the destruction of the body. No one in science can ascertain this.
Yeah. Like the air,
Hmm.
air is going through sometimes, fragrant gardens. So the air carries the aroma of the garden. Sometimes it's passing through dirty things, stool, carry its stool. But the air is still air. The fragrance is different than the air, right?
Hmm.
The air is not becoming the stool or the flowers. Similarly, the soul, we are entering into so many different types of bodies. Sometimes pig, sometimes human being, sometimes demigod, but we are different. We never mix with the body. We never become the body. We're always
Hmm.
different. Like a gold ring, if it falls in the gutter, gets covered by all the dirt. So it's covered by the dirt. But still, it's still gold ring covered by dirt. If we simply wash the dirt off, the gold ring will shine again. The gold does not become the dirt. So we can see, actually, we are all pure consciousness, but how the conditioning is so strong. We are thinking, I'm the body, I'm this, I'm that. I have to do this in the material world, I have to do that in the material world. It's our conditioning. We have nothing to do here in the material world. And yet, because of these different designations, we create so many varieties of desires.
Uh, I actually have a doubt from the first verse that we read today about 31 text.
Okay?
So, not doubt, I just want to clear this thing. It says that when a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies. So, does it mean that if somebody uh, sees, if somebody just knows, not even, we just know that there are different bodies and only one soul, and there is Paramatma. So that will be known as Brahman conception, right?
Yeah. Individual souls, right? Not that all the souls are one, right? In that the soul, everybody is a soul, and these are just different bodies one is taking up. Yeah, that is a liberated vision. Vision of the liberated person.
So that is like Brahman conception, the first
Yes.
stage of realization, is it?
Yeah.
So here, the see word, is it see like literal, to see literally, or to like kind of realization?
Realization. See through the eyes of knowledge.
Uh, so right
Gyan
now,
chakshusha.
okay, right now, like I just know that okay, we are this body, but there is a soul inside. So means I'm not realized yet, is it?
That's right.
Okay.
Because when one is realized, then one will act as the soul. Theoretically, we understand, okay, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. But when we are acting via the body. But one who's realized, then his consciousness is pure. So he's acting in that pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness.
Mm. Okay.
Is it like Shilpa ji? We can also give this example here of like the knowledge of the eyes when you say, uh, that means that like when a doctor, if you are sick and you go to doctor, and when a doctor sees your tongue or your fracture, for a normal person, I just remember this because it just happened. So for a normal person, a X-ray would just look normal because he cannot differentiate, right? That from where it is broken or what has happened. But because the doctor has the knowledge,
Yeah.
so he points out that, see, this is done, this is here it is. But for a normal person, because he doesn't have that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So the same way, like what you're saying, ke
Yeah.
gyan chakti, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Mm.
Yeah. Through the eyes of knowledge.
But I guess won't that be kind of material knowledge? Like we also right now we are also in the material modes, under the material modes of nature, and we know that there is a soul inside every body. So although we know that, so I think we are not realized yet,
That's right.
right? So that
That's
would be, we just know it theoretically, as you
that's right.
mentioned,
Yeah.
right? So I think that this is not pure knowledge, or is it?
What is not pure knowledge?
This one, we just know that
Yeah.
there is a soul. That's it.
Yeah, that's
But it's not,
theoretical, but we have to
yeah,
realize this knowledge. It's
yes.
not
So
that
we
the
have not
knowledge
reached
is.
that Brahman conception yet.
That's right.
It takes time. Like
Yeah,
pure devotees, they're already in Brahman conception.
that's right. The knowledge itself is pure. There's nothing wrong. The knowledge is perfect knowledge, but we haven't realized it.
Okay.
Yeah, because a perfect knowledge is that one who is liberated sees that there are spirit souls everywhere. They're just taking different bodies due to their different desires, different activities.
Mm. Okay.
Right? So that knowledge is perfect. Now we have not yet realized that knowledge because our consciousness is material. We are looking at the body. We're thinking in terms of the body. Our consciousness is not pure.
Mm.
So we are not able to see properly. You know, like how the window is dirty. Dirt is on the window. So can't see out of the window very nicely. So our consciousness is not clear.
So can I say that right now we know it at the material level, but we don't know it at the spiritual level?
Know it at the material level. What does it mean?
I mean, like theoretically,
Yeah,
we
you can
know,
say we know
uh,
it
we haven't
theoretically.
experienced this thing yet.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know, we know it in theory, but not realized it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Krishna is giving us this knowledge. So then one who knows in theory can put it into practice. So we may
Hmm.
not realize this knowledge, but we can try to remind ourselves of this knowledge,
Hmm.
you know, and act on the basis of that knowledge. It's not easy, but you can practice.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. All right. 34.
यथा यथा प्रकाशयते एकः कृत्स्नं लोकम् इमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाश्यति भारत. Translation. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Purport. There are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of the sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body of consciousness. Thus, consciousness is the proof of the presence of the soul, as sunshine or light is the proof of the presence of the sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body, and as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness. This can be easily understood by any intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not a product of the combinations of matter. It is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that of another body. But the super soul, which is situated in all bodies as the friend of the individual soul, is conscious of all bodies. That is the difference between supreme consciousness and individual consciousness.
So the difference between body and soul also, right? Yesterday we were discussing. Isn't it?
Yes, right.
The difference between the body and the soul, how do you understand that the soul is there in the body? Because there's consciousness.
Yes.
You know, while the soul is there in the body, if we get burnt, it really hurts. You'll be screaming like crazy. But the dead body, you burn it because there's no consciousness.
Hmm. Okay.
And then we are conscious, we are individually present in one body, whereas the Supreme Consciousness is conscious of all. That's a difference between us and the Super Soul. Right? We are just there in one body, individual body. So qualitatively same, quantity very different. Quality is the same as the Supreme Lord, but not the quantity. Is that okay?
Oh, yes.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञनोरेवम् अन्तरं ज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यन्ति ते परम्. Translation. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in the material nature, attains to the supreme whole. Purport. The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the supersoul. One should recognize the process of liberation as described in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go on to the supreme destination. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts a spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. A spiritual master, by various instruction, teaches his students to get free from the material concept of life. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna instructing Arjuna to free him from materialistic considerations. One can understand that this body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is the gross manifestation, and the subtle manifestation is the mind and the psychological effects. And the symptoms of the life are the interactions of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul, and there is also the super soul. The soul and the super soul are two. This material world is working by the conjunctions of the soul and the 24 elements. One who can see the constitution of the whole material manifestation as this combination of the soul and the material elements, and can also see the situation of the Supreme Soul, becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization, and one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of the spiritual master. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness.
So, what is Krishna saying here?
So, the Krishna is trying to say that one who, with the eyes of the knowledge, he sees the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and also the supreme soul. He gets liberated from the material world, and he achieves, and he goes to, he gets the supreme
That's
goal,
good. Yeah. He gets
right?
liberated. Yeah.
He gets liberated.
Yeah. Because so here we may not realize this knowledge as yet, right? But Prabhupada is saying
Mm,
here that by contemplation, now that we know the knowledge, then contemplate on it, think about it, see how we can apply it,
mm,
practice to apply it. Right? That's the reason Krishna is speaking all this to us. So of course we are not on that platform, but to whatever
I
degree
think
we can.
yeah, you're right to whatever degree, because I think that our Vedic system is being made in such a way that we were taught in that way, never to hurt any jeev. जैसे हमारे बड़े बोलते थे कि इसको मत करना, मतलब अगर तुम ऐसे मच्छर को नहीं मारना, उस वो भी तो जीव है, उसमें भी आत्मा है, ऐसे
Yeah,
किसी चीज को पाव मत लगाओ,
yeah,
because we were taught all this. So like this has been in our everyday routine, but we didn't know the like how to connect it with that yeah कि soul है, और it is just because उसके कर्म की वजह से वो मच्छर बना है, it's not his fault. So
that's right.
we can relate to that.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And then now that we are knowing this knowledge, then we have to put it to practice,
Mm.
right? It's not, we have not realized it, yeah, of
Mm.
course, but we can try to practice to whatever degree we can, whatever degree, right? As you are saying, there's a mosquito, so then, all right, he's also a soul now because of some choices, some karma he's put in the
Mm.
body of a mosquito.
And not only the mosquito, I remember you also mentioned like the trees,
Mm.
like how we go out for a chant. Then when we can chant louder, and we can, so like the trees are also getting impacted by that. They are souls inside the trees, right? Like as we are reading.
Right. Yeah. The trees, their souls, the dogs, the cats. We are all souls. The entire material world is a combination of this thing. There is the
Mm.
24 material elements, and then the soul is there. And the super soul is controlling both of them. That is the working of this entire material universe. We get so enamored by these different material things, right? For example, our phone, our laptop, or our whatever possessions we may have. But if we analyze what they are made of, is just and break it down to the elements, it will come down to these basic elements: earth, water, air, fire. And then, of course, the soul, we are here. So, all the different varieties of bodies that we see is combination of this material elements, and the soul is the inside. And then The super soul is controlling both. Krishna is saying, understand this. See through this knowledge that he's giving us.
Mm.
Okay.
And tomorrow I won't be able to read because I I'm going, like, I will be in the flight at this time, so I will land at 9 p.m. So
Oh, you're
maybe we can
traveling.
stay up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm traveling to.
I can read tomorrow if you're okay. Because Rohit will be coming very late, like 1 o'clock.
Mm.
So
So
if
we
you're
can
okay, I
discuss
can read.
something else,
Yeah.
yeah. Or we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
talk about
yeah.
something else, and then when Chinam, you can join the day after.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And also one of my friend, he was asking to join.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
welcome.
yeah, sure. Okay, I will tell him to join day after tomorrow.
Yeah, we can start with chapter 14, then the day
Yes.
after, and tomorrow Neha and me can meet and we can talk about, yeah, discuss something else. It says,
Okay,
mm,
sure.
okay, all right then. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.